I just went on this great, great stream, and I looked down, and I hadn't hit record. How many times, man? It's hard not to start to connect the dots on all these little interferences when you're trying to share something good and true. Anyways, I'm trying to do a video here about love and how frustrating that term is. How much of an impediment that can be on the path, that term. It's a term I don't use. Forgive me, I'm really frustrated. Give me a second here. Man, that's so annoying that none of that recorded. Anyways, on the path, you're going to hear recommendations, especially as you start to focus on healing and just spirituality in general. This word, love, will come up a lot, and it's often used, and there may be other dimensions that'll pop up here, but one way in which it's used is to talk about self-love. You'll hear teachers given, or people given the recommendation that in order to heal, you got to love yourself. You know, in the conversation on what is the term? Inner child. You have to love those parts into healing. You have to show love to them. And that's frustrating, can border on infuriating. And let me try to unpack some of that. Maybe in a milder, at a minimum, just isn't useful, isn't practical, isn't useful, doesn't make a lot of sense. You know, some of this is temperamental, and again, I'm frustrated right now because of this damn camera, this damn video, but some of this is temperamental, so let's try to see if I can bracket that or tease that out as I go here. But when especially early on the path, when you realize, fuck, man, I am wounded here. I'm in a lot of pain here. I am suffering. And you hear something like that, like the path is love. You got to love these parts. Fuck that, man. I'm in pain. I feel anxiety. I feel pain. I feel whatever, darkness, hurt, sorrow, grief. So now I have to sort of subdivide my mind. I've got all this pain, and now I need to stand aloof from that or apart from that as this loving, radiant being. Even just saying it now pisses me off. It's like, that ain't gonna fucking happen, man. I'm sorry, but no. And it's a frustrating instruction, even if you're not pissed off like I am right now. Because again, if you're in a really tough spot, the idea of like love and I need to overflow, have this effervescent energy of love coming out of me, I just can't do that. And so you're left thinking, well, are they asking me to just fake it? Like I just kind of put on the affectation of love, act loving, and I don't feel it? That ain't gonna happen. That just ain't gonna happen. It's not, and to the extent, at a certain point, you just can't do that. To be that kind of phony just hurts. It hurts to be phony like that. So part of the way I would hear things like that, and maybe sometimes because well, let me not speculate on the person's state who shares these messages, but the way it comes across is like, I'd rather be authentically in pain, honest about the pain I'm experiencing, than to affect love. It feels gross. It feels invalidating. It feels wrong. And so you're left thinking like, well, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Love these parts. I don't feel love. That's the honest fucking truth. Not feeling an outpouring, a radiance of love. No, not at all. I'm in pain right now. And now am I supposed to feel bad because I don't have I'm not so I guess I'm just not a loving person. All these other people are able to do this, to love themselves, and I just can't do it. I know fucking damn well I'm not going to fake it. Done that my whole life, and not with love, but part of the reason we're in so much pain is because of all the masks, all the faking, all the manipulation. So I'm going to lie to myself and share something that I don't have. Fuck that. No way. So anyways, forgive me, I'm blowing off some steam here, but it is kind of infuriating and frustrating. And I think it's just people using language a little bit sloppily. I mean, maybe not. I can recognize too, and here's where the temperamental part that comes in. There are people out there who do effervesce, who do effulge. Can I use that as an active verb? Is that the right way to say that? Right part of speech? Who have this, again, this abundance or this overflow of active love that you get showered in their presence with love. That is true. There are people out there like that. And there are moments like that it can happen where a heart overflows, definitely. God's grace shining through. But if that's a requirement on the path to heal, it ain't gonna happen for so many people. And so when people are just going to keep saying that, I think part of it is because people just like that word love. Part of it is, again, I think there's just better ways to say that are less confusing, that are more helpful. So that's part of why I try not to use that word. And I can say I have an aversion to that just because of all the ways I think people misuse it or use it in ways that don't make sense, or don't help. But and so I'm going to offer a helpful redefinition, hopefully helpful redefinition of that word. And I've gotten this from a teacher of mine, and in part, I think because of this whole confusion around this, I think I brought the issue up to him and was like, man, this just doesn't make sense. You're asking me to love myself. I don't feel love. I feel hate. I feel anger. I feel rage. I feel sorrow. Again, I feel all these other things. But a useful way to understand that term, or to substitute in when somebody's using that word. And again, I think I'm remembering that I got this from this teacher, and it made a lot of sense. I want to say it's mine, but a better way to say it is to be with. Rather than thinking of love as this specific affective state of an outflowing of kind of a warm generosity or a warm regard, something like that. I don't know what the actual definition would be of love in that sense. And certainly not like a enmeshed kind of love. Let's leave that. That's obviously not what we're talking about. But rather than a specific emotional state, because again, emotions are transient. And if you're suffering, trying to gin up, trying to generate emotion, that's not helpful in my experience. But the love, if we even want to use that term, and I think what maybe some people mean by this, although it probably, well, anyways, it'd be better to say allow, be with. That's the loving act. That's self-love, is being with. And another part of it is because it can be kind of exhausting. Like, okay, so I have to do this certain thing towards myself in order to heal. I'm already so burned out and exhausted and surrendered or just beat up, It feels overwhelming, feels exhausting, feels complicated, but it's so much simpler when you look at it as just being with. And you don't have to know how to resolve what's going on inside of you, the pain you have inside of you. It's not a technique or a strategy. The love, if we want to use that word, is just in the commitment to be with whatever comes up. Again and again and again and again. So you fucked up that day. You betrayed yourself. It's going to happen. Let me tell you, it's going to happen. You acted imperfectly. You weren't impeccable. You got caught up in something. Fuck. That feels very unloving to yourself, right? What's the commitment? To return to yourself and to let yourself feel that pain, that disruption, that energy. That's the love. The love is in the return. The love is in the being with. The love is in the surrender, allowing whatever is there to be there. And it's much easier that way. It's much simpler that way. It's not a 1, 2, 3 strategy. Now you may just organically, naturally start to figure out there are certain things you can do that are helpful for you. Certain ways of orienting yourself towards this inner pain, dialoguing with it, or certain body postures you can get in, certain places you can be, certain ways you can hold yourself. There's all these little things that'll kind of organically arise when you allow your pain to speak and to talk to you. And you're not there as a therapist. Again, that's exhausting. You're not there to try to solve it. You don't know how to resolve this. You just don't. So let's leave that out of the equation. You don't know what you're doing. You just don't. And that should be good news. It's okay. Thank God you don't know what you're doing, and thank God you don't need to know. All you need to do is just allow it, just to surrender, to experience whatever comes up, and cry, curl up into fetal ball, scream, shake, get primal, get violent, not towards yourself or towards anyone, but just, let that energy fucking move, let your body move, whatever feels appropriate. To be with. Through minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, just simply showing up. I'm here. I'm just here. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't have to know what to do or to say. Relieve yourself of that burden. Don't carry that. God's intelligence, nature's intelligence, God's intelligence is what you're invoking through surrender. Lord, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to heal myself, but I'm here and I'm going to surrender. I'm just going to let go. Whatever comes up, comes up. That's okay. And you don't even have to feel like warm and welcoming and loving and shining, and you don't have to. If you have that naturally flowing and that's authentic and organic, great, that's fine. But the good news is you don't have to have any of that. You don't. So feel free to feel how you feel. All right? Don't saddle yourself with having to put on these other roles, or having to resolve it or figure it out or love yourself. Gosh, that's exhausting. You don't have to do that. It's just the simple act of being there, surrendering, allowing, not running, just burning in the fire. That's the supreme act. That's love. That's the supreme act of love. Again, if we're using that word. You don't have to even use that word, but it's an easier way to understand it. And I think potentially what most teachers mean, it's hard to even say what people mean, but I think it's a healthier and less burdensome, more relaxing way of dealing with it. Allowing. And over time, what that does is it allows this pain to surface and to empty out, to be transmuted, to be felt, to be held, to cry. And the heart can start to come online. I almost don't even want to say this piece because you don't want to have anticipation with any of this. Whatever is present and real, that's all that matters. But you can start to notice, maybe you start to notice, if it's not your experience, that's fine too. But that as you release some of this stuff, and it takes as long as it takes, there's no time limit. For me, I'm still very much in this process, and it's taken years. You wish it would be like this. But as you commit to just simply being with yourself and experiencing the raw data of your grief, the raw energy of your sorrow, of your pain, of your fear, whatever, your anger, your hatreds, your whatever's coming up. Yeah, sorrow, grief. Experiencing those textures, letting those things fully emerge and move through you, and you emote and you cry and you hold yourself or whatever feels natural. Yeah, you may start to have some actual more kind of loving feelings in a weird way. Again, some of us just aren't really wired to be effusive in that way. I don't feel very loving in that sense. That, some people seem to be like a blast furnace of love and grace in that way. And part of that is maybe just more work to do within myself, but at a minimum, you start to be less divided. You start to have less of a burden that you're carrying. You start to have less pain inside of you, more trust in the process of surrender, and if there's an emotional state that's important to me, more than love, at least in the kind of conventional sense, it would be peace. That's really what matters to me, is peace. I'll just take peace. I'm happy with that. That's good. I could say that's good enough, but I mean, it's more than good enough. I mean, peace is everything. That's everything for me.